MetaTrader 4 winning strategy. This strategy is meant for MetaTrader 4 and not MetaTrader 5. You cannot use this on the right platform. I'm going to explain how to use all the indicators I've combined together for this strategy. But before I do that, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on the notification, and do give me a thumb up. The download link to all the indicators used for this particular strategy is in the video description. Make sure you watch the video to know how to use this particular strategy so that you know the advantage and the disadvantage of using this particular strategy. And make sure you trade on regulated Forex broker. I have dropped some links in my video description for some of the brokers I have used, and I do not have a challenge with them. Make sure you register with any of the brokers. Having said that, let me explain how to use all the indicators I have combined for this MetaTrader 4 strategy. Now, here is the first indicator. I have about 4 indicators on my chart here, and then number 1 indicator is this wedge indicator here that draw this line automatically. It's single indicator that do that. And the next indicator is this Fibonacci indicator here, and the third indicator is this indicator on the indicator window, and the last indicator I have here is this indicator that gives us this arrow. But if you want to call the last indicator I use also, which is the last, this candle indicator that gives us this blue and red indicator, you can use normal candle color, or you can change the color if you want. Now that you know all the indicators that I use for this particular strategy, now let me explain how to use this strategy. Number 1 thing you have to look out for is this level or this zone here that you have to look out for. When you check this particular zone, we have a signal generated here at this particular point. Though we have a fake breakout here to the upside, but it did not go well. So we have a rejection at this zone, and we have this particular indicator, wedge indicator here at this particular zone also. Then we have this indicator that turned to orange color here at this particular point, this particular indicator here for a sell. So at this point, you will consider the last indicator I have here on the indicator window where it turns to red, and that is a exact point where you need to take your trade for a sell. And you can see that we have a serious pull to the next, or a serious move to the next point here, and it did deliver, gave us a good pips. And at this particular point, we see another star here. If you look at this area closely, we have a small star here, blue in color. This signal is from this indicator, and if the indicator disappear later, you are going to see this star, and you can say this indicator does not repeat, because if it did repeat, it's still going to drop us a signal or drop us a note that something actually happened around this particular point. It gave us buy here, and though it was at this particular 67, that's 38.2% of this particular indicator, this indicator did confirm it, but this was late in the night here. As you can see, it's close to the end of the day here, and it did not deliver. But the following day here, we have a rejection around this particular point here, and we have the first indicator, we have the wedge indicator here, and when you look down on the last indicator here, it turns to red, and we have a serious move for this particular trade pick at this particular point. So this is how to combine all the indicators together to come up with a good signal that will be generated. And one of the disadvantage of this is that if it disappear or it did not work, you are not going to see the arrow again, but we see a star like star in between to show us that something did happen at that particular point. And if you check this strategy very well, it is profitable and it did deliver. And another confirmation from this indicator, that's why we have the upper wedge here, the line, we have the upper trend here that form this wedge. We see a breakout of this particular wedge at this particular point. This is another additional confirmation for a good setup for you to place this particular trade. This is a good confirmation again. We have this candle breaks away from this wedge and it closed below it. So at this particular point, you can take your trade. The first take profit will be here and the second one will be at the next point, and it did touch our 0.6697 zone right now from this Fibonacci indicator. And this is how to use this particular strategy. Make sure all the indicators are in agreement before you place your trade, and you will not have any regret taking that particular trade. Now let's move on to other higher time frame. It did work on any time frame you want. It depends on the time frame you want to pick your trade from, and this is it on 1 hour. It's still the same rule, rule that you have to follow. Here's it on the 4 hours. Then we have it here on the 5-minute time frame, and here is it on the 1 minute time frame. So if you want to scalp, you can still use it on 1 minute time frame, but it will be good if you scalp in the direction of 15 minutes on your 1 minute time frame. Do not trade against the trend on the higher time frame, especially on 15 minutes. If you want to scalp on 1 minute, make sure you check 5 and 15 minutes before you take your trade. So the signal generated from this indicator is accurate. Now let me show you all the indicators I use for this particular MetaTrader 4 strategy. And the number one indicator on my chart here is a super trend candle. That's the indicator that turns from blue to red, this candle indicator. So this is just the default setting. You can use it that way. Make sure you pause the video and confirm if it's the same. And here are the colors that I use, and then click OK when you are done. The other indicator is this Fibonacci indicator that do give us this particular line. There's nothing to change here, just use the default setting. The third indicator on my chart is this wave indicator. This particular indicator that turns to orange here, this indicator here, that's the indicator that gives us this signal. It's wave arrow indicator that gives us this white color here also for a buy here. So this is where I change the color. This is where I change the color, so you can change it also if you want. And here are the values for the indicator. Make sure you click OK when you are done. The other indicators here is a wedge indicator that created this wedge that I showed you early, this line that form wedge, and this is how to use this particular indicator. And these are the setting. Make sure you pause it and set it up accordingly. And the last indicator here is a particular as called token indicator, and this is where I change the color. Up color is blue and the down color is red. Mid color width is 1. You can pause the video, and here are the values. For fast MA is 20 and slow MA is 40. Make sure you pause the video and set it up accordingly. And you can check the download link. I'm going to include the template for this particular strategy, so that once you load the indicator, you will use the template so that you will have the same chart like my own. I believe I make the work easier for you. The only thing I need from you is to give me a thumb up for sharing this profitable strategy with you on my channel. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly make sure you do so, and do not forget to give me a thumb up. That is all I need from you. The download link is in the video description. As I said earlier, make sure you download it. It is free. Till I come your way again, I remain your fellow trader, Joe, and bye for now.